Hi everyone, thank you for watching my previous session on user management and table space management. In real world, database administrators deals only external aspects like binary installation, setting up of clusters, managing configuration files, user management, table space management, schema creation, okay, backup and recovery, replication, upgrades, and so on. Whereas application team defines the various types of objects like tables, indexes, functions, views, triggers, sequences, and so on, which are required for their application. Okay, but as a DBA you must have knowledge on these objects so that it will be useful while troubleshooting application specific issue. Now let us discuss about tables. Table is a combination of columns and rows. Column contains interrelated data, whereas rows contain similar kind of records. By looking at this picture, you can understand that each column will have specific data type. In this case, employee ID is having numeric data type, name is having string data type, date of birth is having date data type. There are different types of data types that PostgreSQL supports. There are basic data types like numeric, monetary, character, date and time. Along with that, there are advanced data types like binary, enum, boolean, array, JSON. In my today's demo, I am going to use basic data types like numeric, character, date and time data types. Now let us come down to constraint part. Constraints are nothing but imposing some condition against data in a specific column. Okay, I will show demo on constraints as well. In my today's demo, I am going to show below mentioned topics like list of tables which are present in my database and creation of a table, adding a column and constraints, changing data type, dropping a column, moving a table from one schema to another schema, moving table from one table space to another table space, dropping table. Okay, let us move to demo. Before starting my demo, let me explain about my environment. This is my PostgreSQL DB server. Here I have a couple of clusters are up and running. So I'm going to use the first cluster for my demo. Let me log in to the cluster. Okay, let me list the databases. /l is a meta command which is specific to PSQL utility only. You no need to write lengthy queries to fetch the database details, table space details, schema details, roles, tables. Okay, but for this demo I'm going to use pgadmin utility where this meta commands won't work. So I will write queries to fetch the details. Okay, so for this demo purpose I'm going to use this particular database called app3demo db2, and the owner of this particular database is app3 owner. Okay, let me log in with that user. So I logged into this particular database. If you want, I can show the user details as well. Okay, this is the user. Let me show what is the default schema allocated to this particular user. So app3 schema is the default schema for this user. That means when I'm going to create any table, that particular table will reside into this particular schema. Okay, let me list the tables which are there. Okay, as of now I have one sequence, few tables and one view. Okay, all are residing under app3 schema. Let me show the details of one particular table. Okay, this particular table is having 6 columns, okay, with different data types. Okay, and it also have one index, and the table space is residing under app3 underscore ct underscore table space. Let me list down the table space details here. Okay, I have 4 non-default table spaces which I created in my previous demo. Okay, and one important point, there are a couple of tables present over here that I will drop now because I am going to show demo on those tables. Okay, let me list tables again. Okay, fine. Now let me go to pgadmin tool. Let me show the properties over here. You can see IP address of my DB server, the port, the database which I'm going to use for my demo, and the user. Okay, let me log in. Okay, I logged in over here. Let me open query utility here. Okay, as I said, the meta commands won't work here. That is the reason why I'm going to use this. Okay, which shows all my database details over here. Let me show the table details here. Okay, it lists down all the tables over here, but I want specific to my schema alone. Okay, I'm able to see all the tables. If I want to see, there is one more view like information underscore schema dot tables, which will also show similar output. Okay, where you need to add where class on table schema. Good, the output is one and the same. Okay, in order to know the details about columns, right, you can use the same way. you need to say columns. I will add filter later. Good. Where's key? Okay, and you can give table underscore name as well if you want. With this you can find the table, sorry, columns information, okay, in this particular table. Okay, the other way is you can go here, click here, you can find couple of schemas in this particular database. Okay, as my tables are residing in app3 schema, you can click over here, you can see all the tables here. That is the beauty of PG admin tool. Okay, now let me proceed. Let me open one more query tool. I have all the steps readily available for my demo. Okay, so for I have showed the demo on listing of tables or objects in my database. Okay, now let me create one table here. Okay, let me explain here. This is my table name and these are all columns. Okay, and this is data type of this particular column, like small int is for emp and o, like that. Okay, and along with this you just observe over here, like I'm going to add a constraint which is primary key constraint. Primary key constraint is nothing but it will allow only unique values as well as not null. That means the column should always contains a unique value. Okay, and this is my table space where I am going to place this particular tables data file physically in my server. I showed in my previous video how to find data files of a specific table or index. Okay, for now let me create this particular table. Okay, table gets create. Okay, you can also check it over here, just refresh, you can see the table over here. One more thing you should observe over here, I haven't specified any schema name before to the table name. That is the reason why it came and sat in app3 schema, because app3 schema is the default schema for app3 owner. Okay, okay, now let me create one more table. Okay, let me explain before creating of this table. This is my table name, column name, data type. In this case I am going to create a foreign key constraint, okay, which is referencing to my previous table called app3 underscore demo underscore tbl. I am referencing to this column called emp no. Okay, let me create. Table gets create. The other way I can say this table is my master table and this is my child table. This table holds employee details like his employee number, his name, okay, address of this employee, postal code, okay. And the second table contains experience, whatever the employee is having, right, his history, that it is going to hold this, okay. Okay, let me see the table information over here. Yes, I have master table as well as child table, okay. Now let me insert a record over here. Okay, let me check the record over here. Good. Employee ID is 1001 and this is the name and this is the address and this is the zip code, okay. As I said, you can find the column information in information_schema.columns. Just check and cross verify this. Yes, okay. You can see your employee number, first name, last name, address and all. Along with that, you can see the data type over here, okay. And there are no constraints I defined except primary key constraint, okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a column to the existing table, okay, with a default class as now, okay. Let me run this, okay. You can see the records again. You can see the timestamp here. It came because of this particular class, okay. Let me add one more record for my demo sake. Anyway, let me do this, okay. Oh, typo error. Okay, record inserted. Okay, I have not given any timestamp over here for my M time, but still it updated with timestamp because of this function, okay. Or you can give explicitly here, like this. Anyway, leave it that for now, okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to update one record. Oh sorry, it's employee number. Good, you can see. Okay, fine. So let me show one more demo, like how to add multiple columns as well as constraint, okay. You can see this statement here. I am adding a column called email, date of birth, and I am going to change the data type for employee number, okay. And I'm going to add a constraint, like unique constraint for my email ID. The difference between primary key and unique key constraint is primary key is a combination of unique plus not null constraints, whereas unique is unique but it will allow null values. See, for all employees we may not have emails, right? Email IDs. That is the reason why I define the constraint type as unique. Okay, let me proceed and execute this statement. Okay, if you want, you just refresh this. You can see over here, you can see all the columns here, and you can see the constraints as well. Okay, good. Now since I changed the data type on my primary or master table, I need to take care for my child table as well. Good. Now let me add check constraint to my table for master table. Good. If you want, you can cross verify here. Okay, now let me try to execute here. I'm intentionally giving the employee ID as 1002 because I want to check whether it will succeed or fail. Definitely it will fail because on this column I applied primary key. Okay, that is one. And the second one is I defined check constraint on my zip code as 6, but I have defined as 7 characters. Let me show that. Okay, first it is saying violates check constraint. Okay, let me remove this. Let me re-execute. As I said, employee number is having primary key constraint, right? So let me change this, re-execute. Super. If you want, you can check the records over here. Okay, good. The other one is now I am going to change my column name. I don't want my column name as zip code, and I want it as pin code. Yes, if you want, you can go here, just check this, refresh, see over here. Okay, good, done. Now let me show the demo on dropping columns. I'm going to drop 2 columns, email and date of birth. Yes, done. If you want, you can check. Sorry, you can check here as well, right? Just refresh it. You can check over here. Okay, good. As I said, I have 4 table spaces. When I'm creating my table, right, I defined app3 underscore ct underscore tbs. Now I want move table to app3 underscore empty underscore tbs. Basically, why I need to move, right? There are a couple of scenarios. First thing is, if I'm running out of space in my DB server, I can, where I don't have feasibility to extend my existing mount point, then I will create new mount point and I will create new table space. Then I will move a few table spaces so that I will have ample space. That is one reason. The second option is like some of the tables requires high IO. Okay, so normally what we will do, we'll ask infra team to provide premium disks From that they will create a new mount point and they will give it to us, and we will create a new table space, and we will move few tables from old table space to new table space which are required high IO. Okay, so let me show that one. Let me execute this statement. Okay, if you want, you can see the definition of this table. Just select the table name, go to SQL query. You can see the table space name here, right? If you want to redo, it's not a big deal. I will do it for you again. Good. You can go here, go to SQL, or just refresh it. Okay, you can see the table space name over here. Okay, now another option what I'm going to show here is move the tables between schemas. This is the statement I'm going to execute. What I'm doing here is, currently this particular table is residing in this particular schema. Okay, after execution of this statement, let me show that. Okay, let me refresh. That particular table is not here, it moved to public schema. If you want, you can check it over here. Okay, let me move back my table to my application schema. But you need to mention this because the default search for this owner is app3 schema. Okay, good. Refresh, table is not here. Refresh, table is here. Okay, with this I came to end of my session, but prior to that, let me drop these tables. Done. If you want to check, refresh, it's done. Okay, with this I'm closing my session today. In my next session I will cover indexes, triggers, sequences, functions, views. Okay, thank you.